Hello, very happy good evening. So this is Krishnaveni and we've been talking about the story of life on earth, and that's biology. So welcome to my lecture. So today we are starting a new chapter, that is human health and disease. This is lecture 1. So we are in a way starting a new unit. So this unit comprises of 3 chapters: human health and disease, strategies for enhanced food production, and microbes in human welfare. So these are the 3 chapters. So let's have a quick recap of these chapters and then we will have a mentee in the same. So yes, thank you so much for joining my lecture well before time. So I'm very grateful. So please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. For all those who are watching my lecture for the first time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I teach a class 12 chapter. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I teach a class 11 chapter. So yes, ma'am solved more questions. Yes, I will solve more questions after I revise the chapter. So that is why we are having a mentee session. Hi Antonia B. Yes, a very happy good evening. So I hope you're doing good. Yes, I am fine. I hope your preparations are fine. So thank you so much for joining my session. So please do like, share and subscribe. So it's been a pretty long time since we have discussed this chapter, human health and disease, right? So we have in a way revised your ecology, genetics and reproduction quite a lot of times and quite recently. So this is a chapter after a long time we are studying today, right? So there's been a long gap between this chapter. Yes, Guha Karthikeyan, hello, hi, welcome to my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe, and thank you for joining my lecture once again. So let's talk about this. So this is in a way a very interesting chapter because this chapter deals about how your body is going to fight diseases. Yes, I will finish this chapter in 2 lectures. So today we have lecture 1 and then we will have lecture 2. We will be done with this chapter by Wednesday. So meanwhile, tomorrow at 5 p.m. we are finishing off photosynthesis in plants. So we are talking about C3 and C4 pathway. So please join me tomorrow at 5 p.m. as well. Yes, my Raksha Bandhan was really good. I hope all of you guys celebrated well too. So Antonia B, belated Onam wishes. I forgot to wish you. Yeah. So I guess you guys will quickly share the link with your friends. So everyone should benefit from this free session because I am teaching the same way. So there is no discrimination between a free stuff and a paid stuff. So a teacher is is bound to do its duty. So I am doing my duty. I am teaching the best in all the possible ways so that it can help you with your preparation. So let's move on. So today we are going to talk about human health and disease. So let's talk about the list of diseases today and what is immunity. So let me at least start with that, and on Wednesday we'll finish this chapter talking about AIDS, cancer, and what are your lymphoidal organs. Okay, yes, so welcome. So human health and disease. So it's been pretty long time since I have discussed this chapter with you, right? Fine. So recently I discussed this with other batches, but in YouTube it's been a long time, I guess, right? So let's move forward. So what are the topics that we are going to discuss? So we are going to define what is health and what are diseases. So how do you differentiate between both? So they say, no, you are supposed to be healthy, otherwise you'll get a disease. So what is healthy? What is disease? So we will take a stand on both. So what are the common diseases that for which we have medicines, and what are the causative agents? So does common disorders include your genetic disorders, or those include only your diseases caused by your pathogens? So which is what? So we'll talk about them. Hi Munna, yes, hello, a very happy good evening. Yes, I'm good. How are you? So thank you for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. Hi Darni, yes, a very happy good evening. Yes, I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Hi Natasha, yes, welcome to my session. So please do like, share and subscribe. So then we are going to talk about immunity. So if diseases are there, how are we surviving? So right now also we have the pandemic going on. People are still getting vaccinated. We are still asked to be precautious about this COVID-19 infection, right? So what protects us from this? It is our immunity, right? Yes, vaccination is one thing, but all of us are not vaccinated. So kids below 18 years are not vaccinated, right? So then what protects us from this disorder? So that is blindly your immune system. So we'll see what is immunity and what is active and passive immunity. So let's try to finish off till here for today, and the remaining will continue on Wednesday. So I'll try to finish the chapters as quick as possible so it is easy for you to revise as before the exam. Okay. Hi, okay, fine. Hi, Vinay, hello, welcome to my lecture. So thank you so much for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. Okay, whom are you talking to? So Shimpi is not yet here. I hope Shimpi comes. So Shimpi is not yet here. Munna. Okay, fine. So let's begin with what is humorism. So for everything we have a flashback story, right? So even in our movies, so we have a flashback story as to how the hero and heroine met, or what is the background of the hero, what is the background of the heroine. For everything we have a flashback. So similarly for this chapter also we have a beautiful flashback, right? So this beautiful flashback is about the circulatory system. So how did that all start? So what are the fluids inside your body? So we are going to talk about all that. So we are going to talk about what is known as humorism. So we already know humor is fluid, right? Okay. So let's start from there. Yes, flashbacks. So flashbacks are very interesting, right? So only if you understand the flashback, then the present story in the movie is very interesting. So it is something similar to that. Hi Praveen, yes, a very, very happy good evening. So thank you for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. Acha, Shimpi is watching but she is not talking. Okay, I don't know why is that so. Okay, maybe she wants to be a quiet spectator. She's hiding from you. Okay, so here we go. So humor is a Latin word which means fluids or liquids. So initially they did not have the term blood. So initially Greek people called this as humor. So humor is fluid or liquid. Yes, humor is comedy. So it was very humorous, we say. So that is different and this is different. So in English we have two meanings for everything, right? So is this as well. So this is a part of your ancient Greek theory. Ma'am, is this important to study from the NEET exam point of view? So it's my humble suggestion, yes, because you might have picked out the incorrect statement. So for that this might be useful. Okay, so here we go. So humor is the balance, so ancient Greek theory says that there is a balance between body and mind which comes from the balance between bodily fluids. Sometimes the balance is, okay, so how do you stay healthy? By taking a balanced diet, right? So much in the same way, so ancient Greek people said that the balance between the body and the mind comes from the balance between bodily fluids. Even now, your body and your mind should be balanced. Otherwise, you will not be able to listen to my lecture. So physically, you have to be present, right? And mentally also, you should be connected with the words that I am talking to you right now. So that is the balance between your body and your mind. Yes, my body and my mind are in place because I am talking what is making sense to you, right? So the same way you should also reciprocate with me. So that was the ancient Greek theory. So according to the ancient Greekers, we had 4 body fluids. Homophones, yes, ancient people used homophones, right? So Darni says, ma'am, it's raining heavily. Okay, wow, that's really nice. So please have a hot cup of coffee, so that would enhance the enjoyment in the weather, right? So hi Shimpi, yes, a very, very happy good evening. Yes, I'm good. So I heard you're being a silent audience today. You don't want to talk to me. Is that so? Okay, so there are 4 body fluids. The first one is pelgum. So pelgum in the Greek term means water. Then blood came. So then we have gall or black bile, which is secreted by the kidneys and the spleen. Then we have choler, which is the yellow bile secreted by the liver, right? So these are ancient terms. You don't have to worry much. So just understand this is there, okay? You should have an idea on what are these, okay? So moving forward, fine. So after this, how did people come to the conclusion that blood is there? Then we have your WBCs, RBCs. So later, there was a scientist known as William Harvey. He found out there's something known as body circulation, and blood is the main component of the body circulation, right? So now we're going to define what is health and what is disease. So before that, health is affected by what? By genetic disorders. So we should all be thankful because we are all born properly. Yes. So we are all born with proper hands and legs. So we have no genetic disorders, right? So we have no chromosomal disorders. If we have chromosomal disorders, our IQ level will be less. So we will not be incompetent. We will not be competent with the others of the same age, right? So we have no genetic disorders here. So what are genetic disorders? Deficiency a child is born with or inherited from parents, okay? So the second one is infection. So based on the lifestyle that you're exposed to, you can get infections, because in the earlier time, cholera was a very huge disease, right? So people were dying because of cholera in the drinking water. So that was the case before. And last but not the least, the lifestyle. So how many of you here like pizzas? Yes, you can have pizzas. I'm not saying don't have pizzas, burgers, don't have oily items. Well, that is all old sense, right? So have everything, I would say, but also include balanced diet in your food. So who will say no to a yummy Domino's pizza that is damn hot and that is filled with a lot of cheese? Who would say no? For everyone, the mouth waters, right? It is fine. You can go ahead with pizza, your burger, because that is today's lifestyle. So if you are in a world where you don't like pizza, then you cannot survive in the outside world, right? So when you go to a mall, you cannot find normal thali, you cannot find normal roti sabji. You have to learn to eat pizza, burger to survive in certain cases, right? So that is mandatory. So I would not say no, but also have a balanced diet. That is very, very important. So once in a day, ensure you have a balanced meal. And I'm stressing this point once again because your exams are nearing. So yes, you might have the cravings because all day you are studying, right? So you're studying since morning till evening, so you feel bored. So you want to boost yourself, so you might want to have a pizza. That is completely fine. But ensure at least one meal in a day you have a balanced diet with a lot of proteins. Ma'am, what is a balanced diet? What should I do? So one vegetable, one fruit is mandatory, and take one type of dal, and 1 cup of dahi is mandatory. So these will give you the essential nutrients and the strength to your body. Fine? Yes. Of course, lifestyle matters. You should not smoke, you should not drink, and you should do a lot of exercise. So exercise also keeps your body fit. So all those who are studying from morning to evening, make sure you have at least 10 minutes of exercise. At least 10 minutes you do a walk in the morning, or 10 minutes you do a sit-up or a push-up. So that will enhance your brain concentration. Yes? Fine? Fine. So here we move forward. So how do we define health now? So first thing, health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being. So that is how we define health. So people who are healthy are more efficient and productive. So when you are healthy, so you see how much you perform, and when you have fever, so how you perform, right? So there is a drastic difference. So of course, a balanced diet is equally important. Personal hygiene is very important. So all of you right here are going to become doctors, right? So all of you have chosen to become a doctor. So how many of you have this habit of brushing twice a day? How many of you brush only once? Yes, so that is something very basic, right? So we have done it from our childhood. So we have to brush twice a day. We have to take baths twice a day. So how many of us do that? So any of you here who still follow that? How many of you brush twice a day and bath twice a day? So well, if it's winter, you don't have to bath twice a day, but at least in this pandemic time when you go out and come, so please ensure you have a bath, because the more violent pattern of your coronavirus is yet to come. So please stay safe. So when you go out and come, please have a bath. So that is for your own safety and for the safety at your home. Okay. And normal exercise is also equally important. Otherwise, your belly will grow. Yes, we'll all become obese eating cheese. And proper meditation. So I have told you, meditation is not like sit and do tapas for a long time. Just 5 minutes, concentrate on your breathing. So that is how you bring your mind and your body together. Subconsciously, you bring them together. Okay? Yes? Okay, so Shimpi does brushing at night, Anthony does, even I do. So yes, it's compulsory that we brush twice a night. And if you have time and if the weather is completely fine, so please try to bath twice. So wash yourself properly before going to bed. That will also give you a good night's sleep. Okay, so these are ways by which you can take care of your health, because once you fall sick, then it takes time for your immune system to get back to normal. Fine. So now what is disease? This is the most important task. So functioning of one or more organs or system of the body is adversely affected with the characteristic signs and symptoms. So that is a disease. So when you have a disease, you will know by the symptoms, right? So when you have fever, so if you want to get fever, you will know the symptoms prior. So from morning you were feeling tired, so your throat starts aching because you're about to get cough, your tongue starts losing the taste. So all these are symptoms of fever. So that is a type of disease. So functioning of one or more organs or system of the body is adversely affected with characterized signs and symptoms. That is disease. So further, diseases can be divided into two. One is infectious, the other one is non-infectious disease, right? So infectious diseases can be transmitted from one person to the other person. So example, you can write your COVID-19 infection. Don't write coronavirus. So COVID-19 is the infection and coronavirus is the name of the causative agent, right? So this includes some diseases which are fatal as well, like your AIDS also spread. So non-infectious diseases like cancer, so it can also be fatal. So diseases as such are bad, okay? So there's nothing like it's a good disease, it's a bad disease. So even if it's infectious, it can be fatal. Even if it's non-infectious, it can be fatal. So organisms like bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoans are collectively called as microorganisms. These microorganisms, when they cause infection in our body, they are known as parasites. The same microorganisms are present in a body in a symbiotic combination in your intestine, especially in your cecum. That is fine. But when they cause infection in your body, so they are known as pathogens. Okay? Yes? Fine. So now we're going to talk about the common diseases in humans. So here let me list out all the common diseases. So typhoid, pneumonia, common cold, malaria. So then you have Amoebiasis, then Ascariasis, elephantiasis, ringworm, right? So these are all the diseases, the common diseases that people suffer from. So your typhoid and your pneumonia are bacterial diseases. So common cold is a viral disease. So malaria, amoebiasis are protozoal diseases. So Ascariasis, elephantiasis are caused by your worms, right? And your ringworms are caused by fungi. So at least this you should know, what is the main causative agent for each disease. I hope the quiz on your human physiology was very helpful. Yes, did you all play well? 35 questions. So next time, so this week I will try to finish off another unit. I will try my best. If I can make an extra class, we'll finish up. So we'll have another mentee from this unit. Okay? Yes? Fine. So these are the different common diseases in humans. Fine. So first let's talk about typhoid. So typhoid, the organism, the causative organism is Salmonella typhi. So it enters the small intestine through contaminated food and water. So first you have to remember the name of the organism, name of the disease, the causative organism. Where is the target of this organism? For example, your salmonella will enter and infect only the small intestine. It cannot infect the stomach. It will cause infection in the small intestine. Okay. Hi Vishal. Hello. Yes, welcome. So thank you so much for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. Hi Pooja. Good evening. So I guess your physics class is done. So that's why you came to visit me. So thank you for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. So Vishal, you came so that YouTube does not time you out. Anyways, YouTube is angry with you for not coming to my lectures. Is that so? Okay. So Pooja, I guess you are enjoying your physics classes. Yes? Okay, fine. So this enters, so the target region is small intestine, but how does this organism enter your body? Through contaminated food and water. So you should ensure your food is properly cleaned and washed and properly cooked. So never eat half cooked food. So what are the symptoms? So you know typhoid is a fever, right? So when you have fever, you know what all happens. So it's a fever, so you have weakness. Right? So simply itself we have headache. So in fever we have extra headache, right? So we have headache, right? And since it affects your small intestine, so we have stomach pain. So because of stomach pain we have constipation and hence you cannot eat properly. So loss of appetite is normally if you have 2 rotis and if you eat only half, that is your appetite is lost. Your normal diet is lost, so that is loss of appetite. Okay? Okay, so today you had chemistry class. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying chemistry class as well. Fine. Yes, so these are the symptoms. Yes, symptoms are important to study. So how do you confirm your typhoid? So you do a viral test. So now how do you confirm whether you have coronavirus or not? So do you all know a shocking news? Your RT-PCR is no longer valid. So wherever you go and you show an RT-PCR report, it's no longer valid because all the RT-PCR reports that holds true for the first two variants of the strains of coronavirus is gone. They have become old. So now you have new varieties coming in, so we don't know what test to take. So we have to ensure you have no cough or cold when you're traveling. That is how the condition is right now. So how do you confirm you have a typhoid infection? So you do a viral test. So what is this viral? So viral is the name of the person who gave that test, okay? So you take a person's blood or a serum. So your body will have your antibodies, right? So, okay, so your body, if it has that salmonella, so if the person is suffering from typhoid, the body will have salmonella, right? So you add an antigen artificially to it. So if it forms a clump like this, you are tested positive for typhoid. Okay, so your body will have the bacteria. So you artificially add an antibody. So that is your viral test. Yes, Swami, a very happy good evening. So thank you for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. Okay, so this is about your salmonella. So the next one is pneumonia. So pneumonia is caused by two bacteria. One is Streptococcus pneumonia and Haemophilus influenzae. Okay. In typhoid, RBC count decreases. So actually in typhoid, your WBC count increases because they are trying to fight the bacterial infection. Okay. So you will not definitely have a significant decrease in RBC count, but you will have an increase in the WBC count. Okay, Vishal? So Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenza. So this infects the alveoli of the lungs. So alveoli is the exchange site. It is a site of actual diffusion, right? So here the symptoms. So once again, pneumonia is a fever. So here you have fever. So if you have fever, you have cough, you have weakness, you have headache, and here you have chills because it is affecting your alveoli. So remember it like this. So this is your Streptococcus pneumoniae and this is your Haemophilus influenzae. So this is your alveoli, the terminal part of your lungs which arises from your terminal bronchiole. So this gets affected. So if this gets affected or infected like this, the surface area for the actual diffusion of gas reduces, right? So that is why it causes a problem in breathing. So this is your pneumonia, right? So apart from this, do we have any bacterial disease which you can give me? Yes. So any more bacterial disease which you can give me a list? Yes. Anyone right here? Hi Tanisha. Yes, hello. Yes, you played my mentee. Yes, I remember you very well. So welcome to my lecture. So thank you for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. I don't know when my chats will come to you. My chats are dependent on YouTube. Okay, so YouTube is being very strict. So unless and until you don't be regular to Krishna ma'am's class, YouTube is not going to forgive you. Okay, so no worry, if you have any important doubt, ping me in Telegram, I'll get back to you. Yes ma'am, a very happy good evening. So thank you so much for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. Yes, diphtheria is caused by which bacteria? Whooping cough. Yes, okay, that is caused by pertussis. Yes, can you give me the list? So we are talking about the common diseases in humans. So the first disease that we spoke about is typhoid. So typhoid is caused by Salmonella typhi. Right? So syphilis, yes, very good. So you are able to correlate really well. Gonera, syphilis, right? So then we spoke about pneumonia. So pneumonia is caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae. So this organism name is very important. If at all they ask you in match the following, then Haemophilus influenzae. So you have your tuberculosis. You have your diphtheria. So you have your whooping cough. you have your tetanus, if you remember. So all these are some of the bacterial diseases, right? So your tuberculosis is caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Yes, chlamydiasis, syphilis, gonorrhea, they're all STDs, right? Sexually transmitted diseases. Yes, absolutely right. Very good. So diphtheria is caused by your Corynebacterium diphtheriae. So then we have your whooping cough that is caused by pertussis. Then tetanus is also a bacterial disease, right? So this is caused by Yersinia. So these are the different bacterial diseases. Just remember them, okay? So only these two we are going to talk in detail. So for this we have what is known as your Widal test. Yes? Fine. So now we move into the viral diseases. So can you name some viral diseases? Of course, the first one is COVID-19 infection. The causative agent is coronavirus. So you have high chances that they will ask you one question from coronavirus. So it is a rare chance. So this genetic material is single-stranded RNA, right? So number 2, you have your HIV, so HIV virus. So prolonged multiplication of HIV virus can lead to AIDS. So apart from that, you also have hepatitis B, that is very, very severe, right? It is caused by herpes simplex virus. And of course, the last one which all of us gets is your common cold. So common cold belongs to a family of virus that is known as your rhinoviruses. So which can affect your nasal passage. So that is your respiratory rhinoviruses. Yes, very good. Your Shigella, your influenza, your dysentery. Yes, perfect, fine. So now we are entering into your protozoal diseases, that is malaria. Right? So what malaria has to tell us? So malaria is caused by a particular protozoa known as Plasmodium species. So we have Plasmodium vivax, then we have your Plasmodium malaria, then Plasmodium falciparum. So your Plasmodium vivax is benign, so it is not very, very dangerous. So this is benign. So this is your Plasmodium falciparum is malignant, right? So this actually infects your RBC. Ma'am, malaria we have only heard about the mosquito, so you are saying protozoan. So yes, let's talk about the life cycle of the Plasmodium. So this is how it is. So pay attention. So Plasmodia is actually, malaria is actually caused by a particular type of protozoan. So the name of the protozoan is your Plasmodium. So there are many varieties of Plasmodium, just like you have many varieties of coronavirus. The first variety is your Plasmodium vivax species. So this is benign. So this is not very, very dangerous. Then we have Plasmodium falciparum. So this is very, very severe. So we call this as malignant. Okay, fine. So how this protozoan enters the humans? So malaria is a disease in humans. So how does this Plasmodium enters the human? So it enters the human through the blood meal of a mosquito. So basically this Plasmodium is present inside your mosquito. So what type of mosquito? You have a mosquito known as female Anopheles mosquito. So this is the carrier. So this mosquito carries the Plasmodium. Okay. So in this mosquito, the Plasmodium is present in an infectious stage. The infectious stage of your protozoan is your sporocyte stage. Okay, so sporocyte stage, if you remember, so we read in your kingdom protista about your protozoans. The last type is your sporocyte, right? So there we read about your Plasmodium. So this is where your Plasmodium is present in the infectious stage. So this is the infectious stage of the Plasmodium. So this is present inside the mosquito. So when the mosquito bites the human being, so this goes inside the humans, right? So now what happened? These sporozoites, they directly enter into the liver. Okay, so they multiply as much as they can inside the liver and then they enter the RBC. They enter the bloodstream. So inside the bloodstream, so they have your RBC. So they enter inside the RBC. Okay, yes. Loser, ma'am, I think I will not clear this year. I am dumb. Okay, well, so first thing, welcome to my lecture. Yes, I'm thankful that you came to my lecture. So please change your name. So no one is loser in the game. So everyone has their own game and everyone has their own problems. You are no loser. Don't look at yourself from others' perspective. Look at yourself from your point of view. So your struggles, your confidence is who you are. So that is what defines who you are. So how you think about yourself, that is how others will see you. So please change your name to loser. So no one is loser in the game. So you're destined for some other purpose. Don't worry if you're not going to clear this year. Sit down, relax, find out, make a plan B. Or sit down, take a drop for another 1 year, master all the concepts and come back with a greater confidence. Okay. Yeah, failure is a common thing, but success is not far away. So stand up and rise. So that is what will define you. So calling yourself loser will definitely make you one. No, you're not a loser. So stand up and rise. If you're dumb, it's okay, fine. It's not that everyone will become Einstein. So one day everyone has to lose, right? That's okay. Only losing will teach you how to win, how to rise up. That's okay. Rise up much stronger so that no one will ever call you loser. First of all, you yourself don't call yourself loser. So when you cannot give yourself confidence, then the world can do nothing. But if you have the confidence in yourself, you can move mountains. So please kindly change your name and don't worry if you're dumb. So you have a lot of opportunities which can help you out. So figure out a plan B, otherwise sit down and study. You can do wonders. Okay. So thank you for joining my session. So if you're interested, please continue with the lecture. Okay, so sporozoites, they multiply in the liver, then they enter the bloodstream, they enter into your RBCs. Okay, so now in the RBCs, they are ready to enter into their gametocyte stages. Okay, so they form your gametophytes. That is, they are ready to form the male and female gametes. Okay, so now your RBC will burst. It can no longer tolerate this atrocity. So your RBC will burst. So when the RBC bursts, a toxin is released. So this toxin is known as hemozoin. Okay, so this is what causes your recurring fever or the malarial fever. So this is what causes your recurring chills. So suddenly you have a very drastic shift in temperature. So suddenly you will feel normal. Suddenly you feel like you have very high fever. So that is because of the bursting of your RBCs and the release of this toxin. Okay. So now it will form your male and your female gamete. And it will roam freely in the blood of the humans, right? So now once again, a mosquito, a female Anopheles mosquito will come and bite this human being, right? So that time the gametes get moved into the Anopheles mosquito, right? So in liver they just multiply. So normal fission happens. That is why it is asexual reproduction there, okay? So now once again the Anopheles mosquito will feed on the blood meal of the human being. So the gametes enter into the Anopheles mosquito, right? Fine. So now sexual reproduction or fusion will happen inside the mosquito, will happen inside the gut wall or the midgut of the mosquito, Then it will develop into sporozoites and it gets stored in the salivary glands of the mosquito. So once again it is ready for this round of infection. So did you all understand? Yes? NEET, I don't think it will postpone again. So because things are going as per the routine, as per the timetable. So I don't think NEET will get postponed again. So don't wait. So you start your preparation. What if suppose they say there is a NEET exam in the month of February? So once you start your exam, you start your preparation, you will be able to give your NEET. So anything can happen, right? Now because for a long time it has been postponed and NEET is happening. So it is also said that the NEET will happen twice a year. So might be they can have it in the month of March or February. So start your preparation so it will be easy for you. Okay? Right, so this is the life cycle. So in the mosquito, it is in the sporozoid stage, okay? So it enters the human, it multiplies in the liver, then it enters the bloodstream where it undergoes your gametophyte stage. So your RBC bursts, your toxin is released. Once again, it enters into the Anopheles mosquito and the sexual reproduction happens inside the midgut of the Anopheles mosquito. So it matures into sporozoid and the sporozoids get stored in your salivary glands of the Anopheles mosquito. Is this clear? Yes. So I move forward. The next one is amoebiasis. So Entamoeba histolytica is a protozoan parasite in the large intestine of humans which causes amoebiasis. So this causes amoebic dysentery. Okay. Ma'am, ICAR is preponed. Okay. So you are preparing. So when is your exam? Indian Agricultural exam, right? Yes, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. Yes, so that is also a very prestigious one. So because India is a country which has a backbone in agriculture, so we need a lot of educated people in that field as well. That also has a very good scope. Yes, so all the best. So whenever is your exam, so please prepare well and all the very best. So the next protozoan disease is your amoebiasis. So what causes amoebiasis? So amoebiasis is the disease and the causative organism is Entamoeba histolytica. And what is the target region? That is your large intestine of the human which causes amoebiasis. So amoebiasis is also known as amoebic dysentery. Okay. Okay, 1st September date will come. Okay, fine. Right. So your symptoms include, since it affects your large intestine, so you have constipation, abdominal pain, cramps, stool with excess mucus and blood clots. So housefly act as mechanical carriers and serve to transmit the parasite from the fecuses of the infected person to the food, because your housefly sits everywhere, right? So it sits everywhere, even in the dirty places as well as on the food that you eat. So that is why you do not go to a place where there are a lot of houseflies. That is also risky. Okay, so the next disease is your worms disease. The diseases caused by your worms, Ascariasis and Elephantiasis. So Ascariasis is caused by the roundworm Ascaris. So this belongs to phylum Ascahelminthes, the roundworm, right? So the blockage of the internal passage, yes, because it can get, it is an endoparasite, so it can get inside your body due to half-cooked food. So that is the reason. So please stay safe. So when you are eating cauliflower, that is your gobi, and when you are not clean it properly, there are high chances that these worms can enter inside your body, and they will stay like that for a long time as well. Okay. Always my blessings are there. Okay. The next one is Elephantiasis or filariasis. It is caused by the filarial worm or Wucheria. Okay, so it gets infected or accumulated in the genital, in the lymphatic vessels, thus your genital organs are affected. So it basically gets accumulated in the lymphatic vessels of your limbs. So as a result, your leg becomes very huge. So who is going to bear such a huge weight is your genetic organ. So genital organs, that is in your pelvic region, right? So that gets affected. So these people start becoming infertile. So these are your diseases caused by your worms. And the last one is your ringworm. So this is caused by fungi. So fungi belonging to genera Microsporum, Trichophyton and Epidermophyton. So you will remember this as met. So jab we met or Harry met Shejal. So you can remember in any phase you want. So Microsporum, Trichophyton and your Epidermophyton. So these are the three fungi that causes your ringworm. So appearance of dry, scaly lesions on various parts of the body such as skin, nails and scalp. So this disease is, it becomes very dry and scaly lesions, but it rises because of the moisture content. So these lesions are also accompanied by your very intense itching. So heat and moisture helps these fungus grow, which makes them thrive in the skin folds such as those in the garden or between the toes. Okay, fine. So malaria is very clear now, very good, okay. So ringworms are generally acquired from the soil by using towels, clothes or even the comb of infected individuals. I hope you have a personal hygiene in washing your socks as well. So when you were going to school, I hope you washed your socks every day. Yes, so that is also a personal hygiene. So never use your socks for 2 days. So you are wearing your socks for one whole day, that is for almost 6 hours, right? So please make sure after that you don't use it, you wash it and use it, because that can also cause infection. Yes, it gives you a bad odor. Apart from that, it can cause infection to yourself. Okay, so these are about the common diseases that we were discussing. So we spoke about bacterial disease, viral disease, then we also spoke about the protozoal disease, the disease caused by the endoparasites, and finally we spoke about your ringworm that is caused by fungi. So now we are going to talk about immunity. So all diseases, there are n number of diseases that is infecting a human being. So how is a human being still surviving? So a population is defined by the reproductive fitness. So we have to be fit enough to ensure that our progeny survives, right? So how is this happening? So one thing is that our body's immune system. So immunity is very, very important. So you have to stay safe. So now all of you are going to write your offline NEET exam. So you will get in exposure or get in contact with a lot of people. Yes, I know you will not go touch anyone, but still, you will get exposed to a lot of people, right? So please stay safe and boost your immunity and go. So ability of the host to fight the diseases. So this is disease causing organism is conferred by the immune system, that is immunity. So just like you have a digestive system, respiratory system and a circulatory system, your body also has immune system that fights against these disease causing microorganisms, and that gives you immunity. Fine? Okay, so you have two types of immunity, innate and adaptive immunity. So innate is non-specific and it is present at the time of birth. So this is my innate nature, we say, no? So some people are prone to get a lot of anger. So for no reason they will get angry. But if you look into their parents will also be like that, right? So they have inherited that gene. So that is innate in them. So innate is from the time of birth, or it has been inherited from birth, okay? So innate and adaptive. So innate is a non-specific type of defense. So irrespective of whether it is a bacteria, virus or a protozoan, the first line of infection is your non-specific type of defense. It is present at the time of birth. So irrespective of whatever disease you have, so a person will not know if he has a kidney failure, if it has anything, he will just go to a general doctor, right, a general physician, and then that physician will direct him elsewhere. So this is like the first line of defense. So whatever bad happens to your body, so this comes to fight the disease, right? Yes, so this is your innate immunity. So now we will talk more about it. The next one is your adaptive immunity, but before that your innate immunity has 4 barriers. So since I told you it is present since the time of birth, what are the innate immunity barriers? The first one is your physical barrier. So physically you have your skin. So skin being the largest organ, it does not easily allow microorganisms to enter inside your body. If that was the case, then human population would have got extinct long before, right? Because microorganisms are evolving, but even we are evolving. Our immune system is also evolving. So do you know your immune system is so smart enough that a mother's body should not reject the fetus. So there is a maternal immune gene present which will not eliminate the fetus. So such beautiful architecture is present inside your body, and it's very, very smart. So your human body does not eliminate the sperm inside the female vaginal tract. It does not eliminate the fetus, though fetus is a completely different organism that is growing inside the mother. So the mother's body should not eliminate the fetus right after implantation. So yes, there is a maternal immune response that is working there. So such beautiful architecture is that of your immune system, without which it's gonna be really tough. So here talking about the physical barrier, you have the skin, then you have the mucus coating of the epithelium lining your respiratory, gastrointestinal and your urogenital tract. So these are the regions where you get exposed to the outside surface. So respiratory, your nostrils, your gastrointestinal, your mouth, your urogenital tract is through your anus, right? So all these areas are covered by mucus lining which can easily filter out the foreign particles, that is your antigen. So this is your first line of barrier. The next one is your physiological barrier. physiology is basically pH, right? So the acidic pH in the stomach will not allow many bacteria to survive, right? Saliva in the mouth, so that also has your lysozyme, which is antibacterial. So then tears from the eyes all prevent microbial growth. The third one is cellular barriers, which include cells. So you have certain type of leukocytes, which are WBCs, like your monocytes, right, or your neutrophils. They are phagocytic cells. The next one is your cytokine barrier. So cytokine barrier, a cytokine is a chemical that is secreted by cells to communicate with each other. Suppose if there is a bomb blast somewhere, so we get to know with the help of the information through the media, right? But if two cells within a tissue have a problem, they communicate with the help of chemical messengers. So they are cytokines. So virus infected cells secrete proteins called interferons, which protect the non-infected cell from further viral infection. Suppose a cell is infected by virus and it's about to die. It will send a signal to the neighboring cell saying there is a virus in the nearby vicinity, so stay safe. So the next virus will automatically be precautious. So this signal is in the form of cytokine. The cytokine secreted by the virus infected cell is interferon. So you also have interleukins and you have various other cytokines. So these are your these are your innate barriers, which is very important. The next one is adaptive immunity. They are pathogen specific. So they are the second line of defense, right? So irrespective of anything, we go to police. But then if the army will come, if the military will come, that is the next line, right? So similarly, this is based on the pathogen. It is characterized by a memory. So when our body encounters a pathogen for the first time, it produces a response called the primary response, which is of slow intensity. So anything that is foreign to the body is known as an antigen, right? So universally antigen is represented as Ag. So in response to the antigen, our body produces what is known as antibody. So antibody is universally represented as Ab. So first time when your body is infected by a particular pathogen, the response is slow because it takes time to produce the antibody. So when you have fever, don't take any tablet. Let your body heal on its own. It will take 7 days because that is the time period it will take to produce more antibodies. So even if you take a paracetamol will enhance the production of your lymphocytes. So it will take the same amount of days. So you will be tired for 4 days anyways, right? So that is it. So the first response is slow, but just like you have one copy stored of all your important documents, your memory immune system also shows a memory cell. So if this antigen comes, this is how I have to find. It also stores a copy. So that is memory. So subsequent attack is very intensive. Okay, so there are two types of cells in your adaptive immunity. One is your B lymphocyte, the other one is your T lymphocyte. So B lymphocyte because it matures in the bone marrow, T lymphocyte because it matures in the thymus. Okay, so your T lymphocyte are of two types. So you can say of 3 types, leave off all this. So your T lymphocyte, so you have a TH cell, that is T helper cell. Then you have a TC cell, that is cytotoxic T cell, and the last one is TR, so regulatory T cells. So T helper cells stimulates your B lymphocytes to produce more antibodies because B lymphocytes produces antibodies. So cytotoxic T cells, they directly kill the cells. So they are type of phagocytic cells. Okay, so T regulatory cells brings the homeostasis of the lymphocytes. Suppose if your fever is reduced, so you have to reduce the concentration or the population of T lymphocytes, right? So that is what your T regulatory cells does. What is this CD8 and CD4? So CD8 is the receptor. So just we have the hormone receptor complex. So TH cell, it binds to receptor CD4. So CD stands for cluster of differentiation. That is the name of the receptor. Here the receptor is CD8. Okay. So B lymphocytes on the other hand, it has your plasma cell and it has your memory cell. So plasma cell produces antibody, memory cell stores the memory, right? So these are the 2 types of lymphocytes. So we will stop here and we will continue it on Wednesday. On Wednesday we will finish this chapter. So I've got the structure of the antibody. It's okay, we will discuss on Wednesday. So we will have a continuation on Wednesday. So I don't want to finish everything right now. Yes, we'll talk all about this on Wednesday. So allergy, vaccination, immunization. Then we will also finish your cancer as well as your AIDS. Yes, we have autoimmunity. So we'll finish off everything on Wednesday. Okay, so with this we'll end today's lecture. So I hope the first part of diseases and your immunity is clear. So we will talk about the immune system, AIDS and cancer in the next lecture, that is on Wednesday. So meanwhile, tomorrow we are talking about the C3 and the C4 pathway. So please join me tomorrow at 5 p.m. and if you genuinely like my way of teaching, so please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for making my lecture very interesting. So this is me wishing you more and the most. So stay healthy and stay tuned. I will meet you tomorrow. So until then, bye.